Hello and welcome to Toya and Stitches. In this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to make a Mobius shawl. It is also sometimes known as a hooded shawl. It is simple, beginner friendly, and works up quickly. So let's get started. For my shawl, I'm going to be using Premier Yarns, Premier Basics Chunky. It's a bulky weight yarn, and this color is called Terracotta. I'll leave the details on the yarn in the description. I will be using also a 8mm crochet hook. And you're also going to need some scissors, a tape measure, and a tapestry needle. So grab your supplies and let's get started. The only measurement we need to make this shawl is the circumference around our shoulders. So just wrap the tape measure around your shoulders like I've done here. Ensure it's not too loose or too tight, and then record the number you get, and that's what we will be using. We're going to start off by working a row of foundation double crochet. And I like using the foundation double crochet rather than chaining and then working into the chain, because our first row becomes the very center of our shawl, and then we work up and down simultaneously. You'll understand once we start working, but it just allows for a little bit more stretch so the center of your shawl isn't too tight. So how we work the foundation double crochet is like this. We're going to start by making a slip knot. We're going to put the slip knot onto our hook. And now we're going to chain 2. So now yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 2 chains. What we're going to do now is we're going to yarn over, hold on to the yarn over, and you're going to insert your hook under the bottom loop of the first chain that we made. So we're going to skip this chain here and then work into this one. So you're going to insert your hook under the bottom bump of that first chain, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook, and if you turn it sideways, those are the 2 chains that we started. All right, so now you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. That is a chain 1. So this chain 1 is where we're going to attach our next stitch, but first we have to complete our first double crochet. Now we still have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And there we have our first double crochet, and if you turn it around, you have your chain right here. So I'm going to do that again. We put the slip knot on our hook and we chain 2, 1, 2. We yarn over, skip the first chain, and insert our hook into the bottom loop of the next chain. There we go, and pull up a loop. 3 loops on our hook. And now we're going to yarn over, chain 1, and now we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We have made our first double crochet and our first chain. Now to work our next stitch, we're going to yarn over, and when you flip your first stitch over, there's that little V you can see right there. You're going to insert your hook under that V. So we yarned over, and then we insert our hook under both loops of that V, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we're going to yarn over, chain 1, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have 2 stitches that we've worked. We're going to work another stitch, yarn over, turn your work towards you, look for the last chain that you made, that little V right there, and you're going to insert your hook right under there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, chain 1, and now yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 3 double crochet stitches. Gonna work that with you a couple more times. Yarn over, insert your hook under the 2 loops at the base of the double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, yarn over, insert your hook under the 2 loops at the base of the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's how you're going to continue working until you have a row of foundation double crochet as long as you need it to be. So continue working like that, working your row of foundation double crochet, and I'll meet you when we have a row of foundation double crochet as long as we need it to be, and then I'll show you how to start working your Mobius loop. Okay, so I've laid out my chain, my foundation row, and I'm just going to measure it out just to make sure I am sitting where I want to be, and I am at 43. And when I measured around my shoulders, I got 44, but I'm gonna leave it here just because I know it's gonna stretch. So I'm gonna leave it there. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you how to put this around your shoulders and how to make sure that it's sitting how we want it to sit before we continue. Wrap your foundation row around your shoulders and make sure it's sitting nice and comfortably and loose enough for you to fit something under it. And once you're at that point, then we can move on. All right, so now that we have our row of foundation double crochet stitches already measured out, we're ready to move on to the next step. What we're going to do is we're going to take our first row here and we're going to lay it down and bring the ends together. So this is the end we were working on, and normally you would just turn and continue working the other way. You're going to set that down on the right, and you're going to get the other end and sit them down right beside each other. I'm going to put my hook back in, and now I'm going to pick this up, flip it upside down, and I'm going to start working into the base of the stitches. So not the top of the stitches like we normally would. We're going to flip it over and work into the bottom of the stitches we just made. We're not going to slip stitch to join. We're just going to now yarn over, and I'm going to insert my hook under the two loops at the base of that stitch. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. And that's a double crochet. And now we're just going to continue working double crochet stitches in the base of all the stitches until we get back around to the other side. So just yarn over and work a double crochet in the base of each stitch all the way around, and then I will meet you when you've worked your final double crochet in this stitch right here, and then I'll show you how to join, and then we'll continue. I have 2 stitches left to finish off my row. So here is 1, and then 2, and then how we finish off is we're going to now slip stitch to join our very first stitch. So when we started with that row of foundation double crochet, we had 2 chains and then we worked into the chains. So if you turn your work and you see these 2 chains here, here's 1 and 2, you're going to slip stitch to join into the top of that stitch. So you're going to insert under the top of that stitch and work a slip stitch. And that's how you finished off your first round. So we've done 1 round. So 1 round is going to include 2 rows. And you're going to have a space here, but then once you're done working, you can just take your tail and just sew these 2 rows together, and then it won't be noticeable. But we can leave that until the end. So for our next round, we're going to work another round of double crochet. So we're just going to start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. We're not going to work into this stitch here. We're going to work into the next stitch, yarn over and work a double crochet. And then we're just going to work double crochet stitches until you get back to this chain 3. So just continue working. You're going to work across the top and then at the bottom of your loop. And then once you get back to your chain 3, we'll move on to our next round. Okay, so I'm at the end of my round. Just going to work my last stitch. And now I'm going to slip stitch to the top of my chain 3 to join. And now for our next row, our next round is going to be a round of crossed double crochets. So how we're going to start this round is we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work a double crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to yarn over, work a double crochet in our next stitch. And then now to work a crossed double crochet, what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over and into the top of the chain 3. We're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. and that's going to be our first cross double crochet. This chain 2 isn't going to count as a stitch, so we've worked our first crossed double. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work another one. So we're going to skip this stitch and work a double crochet in the following stitch. And now we're going to yarn over and insert our hook into the stitch that we skipped. Pull up a loop across the stitch we just worked, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we've worked our second crossed double crochet. And now we're going to do that again. Skip this stitch, work a double crochet in the following stitch. And now we're going to yarn over and work a double crochet into the stitch that we skipped. So insert our hook into the stitch that we skipped, pull up a loop across the double crochet we had previously worked, and then complete our double crochet. So that's all you're going to be doing for this round. You're going to be skipping one stitch, working a double crochet in the following stitch. Then you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch that we skipped, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and you're going to continue working cross double crochets all the way around until you get back to the beginning of your round. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you when I get to the end of my round. I'm almost at the end of my round. I have 2 stitches left, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip that stitch and work a double crochet in the last stitch, and then I'm going to go back and work my crossed double. And then I'm going to slip stitch to the top of this stitch, not the chain 2. So when we started our round, we chained 2. We're not going to work into it. We're going to slip stitch to the top of the next stitch to finish off the round. And now what we're going to do is, from this point, we're going to be repeating what we did for the first 2 rounds and then this last round. So your next step would be to work 2 rounds of double crochet. And then you're going to work 1 round of the crossed double crochet until you get to 19 to 20 inches. I'm shooting for 20 inches, but if you hit 19 and you're okay, then that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working until I get to 18 inches, and then I'll talk you through how to finish off. So go ahead and work 2 rounds of double crochet, then 1 round of crossed double crochet stitches until you get to 18 inches, and then we'll come back and I'll talk you through finishing off. All right, so I've worked quite a bit of my shawl, and based on how it's sitting now, I feel like I'm about to have just about 18 inches. So I'm going to measure it out. And when you're doing this and you have it laid flat, put your tape measure under the twist, just so you don't add inches as you're going over it. So I've got it laid flat there. I'm at about 17 inches. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to try it on, and I'll show you as I'm trying it on, just to see how many more inches I'm going to feel like I want to add. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try this on. Here's what my shawl looks like at this point. It is 17 inches long, and I'm liking how it's looking. It's coming out just the way I want it to. So I'm putting the hood up to see how much is falling below my shoulders, just so I know how many more inches I want to add. So it's resting just above my shoulder blades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add now about another 2 to 3 inches, possibly 4, to bring it up to about 20 or 21 inches, so that when I put the hood up, it'll fall closer to my shoulder blades rather than above my shoulders. Now that I've tried it on and I know that I want to add another 3 to 4 inches, all I have to do is just continue working like we've been doing before. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to work another round of the crossed double crochets, and then I'm going to work 2 more rows of double crochet. I'll measure it out and see where I'm at, and I'll just continue working like that until I've reached my desired length. And once I've gotten to the length that I want, which is about 20 inches, then I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish off. All right, my shawl is done, and I finished off at about 20.5 inches, which is just about where I want it to be. So all I have to do now is weave in all my ends, and I just wanted to give you a quick reminder of remembering to sew up where we started. So wherever you finish off, just kind of follow the line down, and it'll bring you back to the center here where we started. And you just want to, take your tail, attach it to a tapestry needle, and just sew these 2 rows together to close up this hole. Then weave in your ends and you'll be all done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care and bye for now.